So I'm here with Bruce Bullington right now, overlooking Jay Latham as he does an engine repair here. Bruce, I know Thursday flip-flop between you and Glenn Burden and Tom and Paul. Are we expecting to see another first place out of you today?
Well, I would love to, but no, we got all the big plays, so it's a different world. I'm just going to put in last, hope for the best.
I mean, it looks like to me, with this big of a pack going on right now, probably the safest strategy is just run good, high-pace laps, stay on the track, and don't come off. I think that'll get you up there real high, don't you?
I believe so. You know, I put in the work. I went home, flattened her out, and I had to put a new motor in. And I know what Jay feels like going through, so, you know, it's kind of tedious sometimes and aggravating, but we'll get it, and we'll make a go of it.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. That's just the name of the game. You know, these long 5-minute heats tend to burn up motors pretty quick. You know, I got 10 more on the way. We've already shredded through the 15 that we ordered not last week but the week before. I know Jay, he got here earlier today on a fresh brand spanking new motor. It's acting like Honda's motors from Formula One a couple years back. He made 2 passes and just locked her up tighter than a drum. I've never seen anything like it, but you know, who knows what happens in shipping with these motors. So we gave him a fresh motor. He's in here installing it right now. Jay, everything away installing that?
Yeah, I got a little solder in the gear, so I'm trying to get that out, and I'll be ready to go.
All right, well, I better leave Jay alone, let him get to work.
Nice shirt you got there. I like that.
Yeah, I've already mentioned that to everybody, that I'm over here, Bruce, wearing your fresh, nice Holly shirt. I'll tell you what, this is probably one of my finer Hawaiian shirts. It's got a nice breezy feel about it.
FinTech technology.
Love that FinTech technology, man. From now on, that might be my new Hawaiian shirt, FinTech all the way. Maybe me and you can get us a FinTech sponsorship here, and we'll wear all the Hawaiians.
Yeah, that's right.
Thank y'all for talking to me. King Kirtley back in action. Took a bit of a hiatus this past week. I guess you enjoyed your time off. Does it look you got your car under control, ready to beat Gabriel Kirtley this race weekend?
Well, yeah, I think if my motor will hold up, I may swap cars. I just put this motor in this car and try it out.
So that's the Alios, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so know you were fast with the new Gemini chassis from Mid-America. So you're thinking that maybe now with the new modifications, new motor set up in this Alios chassis, you give Gabriel Kirtley a run for his money with his Mid-America Gemini chassis?
Well, that's the game plan. Hopefully it'll work.
I'm excited to see. Happy Father's Day there, Pappy, by the way. This is your son talking, not the commentator. Love you. Glenn, happy Father's Day. That's a happy Father's Day. Of course, I just got done talking to Bruce. You guys did the flip-flop. Y'all were top 2 Thursday night. What's your game plan going in here to maybe get that top 2 again?
Just make laps. It's an enduro. You can't win it on the first lap, and you got to be there at the end to make laps.
I know we made a post with your new fresh-looking body, that Audi Haldane body, and how fresh it looked under the lights. So your plan is to basically get no scratches on that body, no wrecks, no nothing.
That's the plan, but it never worked out that way. Not with this bunch.
Well, that's what makes it exciting, Glenn. I appreciate it. I'm going to head around here and talk to a couple other guys here. Haven't seen in a little bit. Gabriel Kirtley, you're going to be bringing home the heat tonight. First place again. Randy Kirtley, he's got him a new strategy. He says he's not stripping the gear this week. You going to have anything to say about that?
Well, I'll do the best I can. It is Father's Day. I might have to let him have it.
Ooh, that's a burn there. Tommy T, back from vacation, ready to hit it off real fast like. So a little bit of bad luck there, the first race back Thursday. We had noticed that you and Paul did a little flip-flop with Bruce and Glenn. Both of you guys were running hard. Glenn and Bruce were running hard. Is that flip-flop going to take place today, or are you planning on putting King Kirtley and Gabriel Kirtley in their place?
I don't know. It's going to be a play out. We're going to figure out what's going to do. As anything can happen during this race.
Well, what's your plan going forward here to take home that victory and sneak up behind them like you did Randy Kirtley and Wally in our last big wing race?
Just stay quick, stay quiet, and like I say, stay liquid.
All right. Love to hear it, Tom. I'll see you out there. Paul Woosley. Last of the Dynamic Four from Thursday. What a race that was, seeing how that flip-flop took place. I see you over here working diligently, just a tried, true ambassador for Lanes Raceway, helping us keep the track rolling. You know how busy it gets in here sometimes, especially during racing. We appreciate everything that you do. You and Tom battling out first and second place there Thursday. What is your plans today to stay on top? And I know you've had King Kirtley in your eyesights for several race weekends. Do you got what it takes this race weekend to put him in his place?
I'm going to say no. Last time I was confident, hell is turned out to be an abortion.
So what you're saying is basically your strategy, come into this, I'm going to lose this race and then hope on some luck to win?
Exactly.
All right.
Start in the back, work my way up like I always do.
All right. Well, I mean, everybody else, that's kind of what they're saying today. Just get some laps run because we got a big pack. You know, it got crazy here last Sunday. All of you guys racing. The community was feeling it. The action was live. The lights were lighting up. It was booming in here. Everybody standing up watching you guys race. I seen them come in, and man, did it come a full speed come apart. There were so many wrecks and everything else. I think maybe that is a strategy. Just hang on to that, keep those cars in line.
Absolutely. Just make laps and hope your stuff stays together.
Well, same thing here. I'm going to be commentating this race. Hopefully these microphones stay together. Hopefully the streaming machine stays together and we get us a good race. Thank you, Paul. All right, everybody out there in internet land, thank you guys for tuning in to the pre-race here. As we get these racers up and going, you can see them there on the camera at the start-finish line. There on the blue lane, we see Paul Woosley's Valvoline. That sucker's fast. We seen that Thursday. Him and Tom Payton battling it out. Down low, we got the other battle that took place Thursday. Bruce Bullington there on yellow. And on purple lane, we got Glenn Burden's Valvoline car. Fred Fox, and that in a post that we had earlier this week on Lanes Raceway, showing how nice that body came together. I know that on green lane, he's ready for this. Everybody's teched in that's on the track. They've met that 105 grand minimum weight. Glenn Burden, I can see the butterflies rolling. He's thinking of two things. He's thinking of pinball, and he's going to win in races. So everybody, stay tuned. I'm going to back in the booth, but stay tuned. Watch these guys as we get up underway. Come on in, join in on the action. We got here. You guys can play while they're racing. You can stand, watch the race, find a place to sit. We got races going on in the back. That an IndyCar race I think is going on. It's right now. You can tune in, all free of charge, of course. These guys are excited. We're excited. I think Jay Latham now got his motor put back in. He's ready to go. I'm getting a little nervous too, just like these racers. We got racers here set and biting at the bit by their controllers. So much excitement. Who's going to be our top three in Victory Lane with our new Victory Lane poster up there? We're going to be taking pictures of that. Who's going to join Jackson in that first place position in Victory Lane? Stay tuned and we'll see.
You racing?
Test, test. That's probably extremely loud. Test. All right, looks like I got the microphone back. Hopefully you don't get any pops or whistles or bangs or anything like that from the pinball machine. For some reason or another, the software itself has kicked my microphone back. Thank you, Alicia, for letting me know that it wasn't working at all. Low Key Jackson, also known as Action Jackson from our Little Rumble series. Hello. He says, hello, Donovan. Bruce Bullington now in the leads. He's taken back from Paul. Like I said, there was a little bit of a crisscross between him, Glenn Burden, Paul Woosley, and Tom Payton Thursday. If y'all tuned in to watch that portion of LMP Thunder Race, what a race that ended up turning out to be. These guys were battling back and forth, and I thought for sure Paul and Tom had it in the bag, but there at the end, both of their cars just decided they were going to quit. But that is the name of the game here in the LMP Thunder Series. You just never know. Paul Woosley taking back that position there as we see him around about blue lane, usually the fastest lane here on the orange track. As we see Paul Woosley actually dipping off there underneath the bridge. Paul Woosley there stalling out for Gabriel Kirtley there with the Hilton Head shirt on. Tom Payton there just to the right of him in the white shirt there, back from vacation. And Randy Kirtley back from vacation on the other end of the circle track. Happy Father's Day to all those out there. We see that Bruce Bullington's nice Shelby cover come off him, and Glenn Burden, a couple rivals getting neck-and-neck combat here. Just to the outside of them, we got Monty Baxter there on green. A hard hit up underneath the dead man's corner there as Randy Kirtley takes a eye peek. Jay Latham now currently out in the lead there on orange lane in his Porsche there at the top portion of the S-turn. And how that baby is humming. So fresh motor there in Jay Latham's car, and that thing is smooth as I think he came off under the bridge there. The track recently got glued, just like we said we were going to do. I think it was Thursday night. The guys were complaining about coming off the horseshoe, getting a little slippy, slidey. And I said, well, I'll put some medium glue on there. Maybe that'll calm it down. And it looks like it has calmed it down tremendously. That's no longer the issue portion of the track. Guys right now still trying to run that glue in down low. And we're starting to see that maybe a little too much grip is taking place, because these guys are coming through the S-turns almost straight. But that glue will surely roll its way in pretty nice. Like I said, Paul Woosley coming up, he's seen where some of the braid had kind of rolled up from our previous race. He put a little bit of glue down. Takes about 15 minutes or so there on top portion of the donut side of the track. Yes, Alicia. Everybody has brought their A game tonight for sure. 31 to 28. That's the difference between all these guys. Of course, Armani with the least amount of experience out of these guys, but man, he's right there in the mix. 30 laps to 33. That's what separates first from last currently. And you know, that's all about rhythm. Everybody knows the rhythm of this orange track, something to learn, but it's whoa. I ain't never seen a wreck like that before, but that was kind of cool to see a car just completely go horizontal there, straight to the wall. That was Jay Latham's car. But the portions we glued tonight, of course, we glued medium glue right here, so we'll put an M there. And then we put light glue here. We put light glue here. I put light glue here. So the track is good and glued up. These guys shouldn't have much of an issue keeping their cars on. But everybody's running quite smooth. It seems like all these cars are balanced out. We put a little bit of water in batteries a couple weeks ago, and I think now those batteries are now starting to trickle about correctly. So there's not a whole lot of surging taking place on those middle lanes like it was before. A lot of guys were complaining about those middle lanes, whether it be blue or orange, kind of spiking a little bit and pushing people off. 3 laps separate last place from first. Jay Latham taking back the lead from Paul Woosley. And now Paul Woosley taking back the lead from Jay Latham. So we got 43, 42, 41, your top 3. Ever since Bruce Bulletin has put that rear wing on that American-made muscle car on yellow there, that thing has been handling great and still got a lot of its top speed. As you can see, the only thing that's keeping him from staying with the pack is just the let-off zone. Everybody else down is just a hair bit deeper than him. But, you know, he's staying on, and that's a big deal, especially with these racers right now. What separates a position is just simply wrecking one time how tight these guys are running. So the key to the game is just like what everybody has said tonight. Hey, it's not about running fast. It's not about being the fastest. It's about staying on. As we see another car come off there on orange, Jay Latham, now coming down 2-point positions from Paul Woosley. Everybody else gripping tight and staying on true. It's going to be a tough little race here tonight. See Jay Latham's car coming off again, causing about a 3-car power up there. Bruce Bullington caught in that mess, also Glenn Burton. I love to see the guys packing up, running single file, and packing up there in the donut and S portion of the track and making it out safe. The other day, I think we were watching the rookie race, and we seen 4 wide, and it was just like a practice race. But nonetheless, at one time they went 4 wide for a solid 3 or 4 laps, and nobody wrecked anybody. They were going around the corner just perfectly in with each other. And in my opinion, that's what true racing's all about. Just how hard can you run and not cause incidents. It does definitely show the character of a person, but more than that, it shows the skill. As these people's skill levels increase, they'll be able to run tighter and closer with one another. Argument's been made here. Should I clean my tires every heat? Now, and put glue in them? Well, to each his own. I know King Kirtley there, Randy Kirtley, he says he does it every other heat. There's some guys that say they don't put glue at all on their tires. Now, me, myself, I clean them every heat. I put glue on them every heat. I oil it every heat. I clean my braid every heat. That's just my routine. And I don't talk when I'm doing racing. I don't really cut up. I'm really serious when I race. And it's just, you know, I'm not really racing those guys out there, but I'm racing myself to see if I can become better at whatever craft that it is I choose to do. But after that first heat, we see Paul Woosley out there in an early lead here. He was able to overcome there Jay Latham. Jay Latham having a few wrecks there at the beginning, and then towards the middle, causing him to fall all the way to 4th position. Bruce Bullington and Glenn Burton yet again battling it out here Sunday. Thursday, they were battling it out the same way, on the same lap and everything, just beating and banging on each other. And Amani, respectfully, there with 70 laps on green, only eight laps different from these people. So we can see a big change here, even in Amani's racing skill here on the orange track. Of course, he's new to the track. It's going to take him a little bit to get perfect flow here, but his tee time, of course, just 1 second off total from the leader. This is pretty good stuff here that we're seeing going into this. That lets me know that the track's in good condition, that everything's glued up right, and everything's been taken care of. So I'm excited to see what this next round comes to bring as we see Randy Kirtley coming back in on red. Jay Latham will end up going off on this heat, and he won't come back for about 3 heats. So 1 minute and 35 seconds before we get back green racing. I'll be right back with you. All right, 5 seconds and we'll be going back green racing. What a beautiful day we're starting to have here in Livermore. The rain clouds are gone, but we sure needed a rain. It was kind of pleasant to see a rain cloud come through. We hadn't seen one in a couple weeks, so that was pleasant to see. As we see several racers trying to get back to their marks. Good to go, green racing. Gabriel Kirtley there on the button. Jay Latham there on white lane. Blue lane, Amani. Glenn Burden on black as he moves up a position, takes that position back from Bruce Bullington. Paul Woosley there in first place on purple, and Randy Kirtley with 2 laps on red. Randy Kirtley's been off for a week or so as he's took himself a small vacation. We'll see how he gets back in the mix with these guys too. Somebody we don't see here today that's in the series that we surely do miss. Guillermo Sire, we do appreciate him helping Amani get him a nice car going. Of course, Amani is currently running the Batmobile car. He's got a couple cars for this series, Amani does. And we see that Batmobile car really hanging in tow there with the rest of these guys. That's pretty much a stock car out of the gate. So I just let you know, even these guys that tune them up, there's not much difference in speed there from just one that's right out of the box. Can you get a couple hundredths of a second? Can you get a couple thousandths of a second? Yeah, you sure can. By doing some extra work, freeing them up and stuff like that. But, getting seconds or tenths of a second, it's a little bit harder to do, especially in this smaller of a track. But we see a car coming off there, Glenn Burden's car, his Audi, coming off there on black lane. Now, he's done some work on that car this week. I just previously got done with a little bit of work earlier today on Amani's GRC car and on Clay Dane's LMP car. We got a nice bunch up taking place here around the front stretch. Hopefully there's nobody in the dead zone. We see Tom Payton there rushing to get him through that dead zone. But what a little bit of a bunch up we got here. Randy Kirtley, there's a few of them that just wrecked there. It looks to be Amani and Glenn Burden involved in that incident. But Randy Kirtley, Jay Latham, and Bruce Bullington right there on the horseshoes, they come around. Bruce Bullington leading the pack there. Randy Kirtley coming up, climbing up next to him, rushing her deep. I don't know how the man can do it. He rushes deep, and he's almost full throttle through the red portion of the horseshoe there. You can see when he comes out of the S turn, Randy Kirtley there on red, he's almost full throttle, just right here. So he'll come through the S turns right here, and he's full throttle right here coming around here. It's something to see because I don't know how he does it, but he's smooth on that trigger, folks, and that's slot car racing. It's all about how quick you pull that trigger. If you pull it too quick, too fast, it ends up jolting her off or making her shoot straight or digging into the track. But if you can roll it just the right way, you can get so much more time. And, you know, it looks like he's going slow through this portion here because he's letting off. But really what he's doing is he's balancing that chassis back out level so that he can go full speed right through here. And that's something that you just got to learn over time as a racer. But the smallest details is what matters the most in slot car racing, because you don't have to control these things, so you got to get better than other people by just surely being smoother on the trigger, which equals fastness, I guess. Garrett, of course, our winner for the VR challenge, the last 10-lap challenge that we had, making $90 because he ended up beating Gabriel Kirtley's score. Last night we started a new portion of the VR challenge on dirt, and I was trying to explain to him that, you know, it may look like you're going slow because you're just turning through the corner, but you're actually faster by making that turn versus trying to hammer through it and just blowing your tires out. There towards the end of the portion, it listed what I said, and he was hammering it home through the straight stretches, letting off what felt like super early, but it was enough to make the turn in. And he ended up breaking my time. I said, if you break my time, that's a good enough time for the month. I think that nobody should be able to beat you, but if they do, it'll be about midway through the month. So we'll see how his time works out, but that's it. It's all about timing in racing, whether you're racing with a steering wheel and gas pedal or you're just racing slot cars here with the finger on the trigger. All of it is just very, very finite acuity in that trigger pulls. I mean, I don't think I've ever showed you guys on stream a trigger of a controller, but let me get my wife to give me a controller here real quick, and I'll show you what these guys are dealing with. It's so minute. Like, I'm showing you this trigger action like this with my middle finger, because I use my middle finger for the trigger. A lot of guys use their first finger, but I don't do that. I don't feel as accurate with this finger as I do this finger. So, oh, thank you, Pete. Jumped over her. Well, anyways, you look right here. Let me get it up here close to the camera, see if it'll focus. Each one of those little bands you see, move my finger up here near it, maybe it'll focus in. But each one of those little bands that you see on that controller, those are differences in voltage. So, you know, you're going kind of slow here, but through the donut portion of the track, you might be like this right here. It's doing that through the donut. And then you let off, and you get back in it to that same portion to get through the S portion of the track. And then once you get through the S portion, it's let off, get in it, let off, get in it. And then you're rounding about to go full throttle through the horseshoe portion of the track. Then it's just full throttle all the way to Dead Man's Corner, and then get back in it about like that right there, around the donut, let off again, let the car settle through the S turns, back around the horseshoe full throttle. But if you go that much more than what you're supposed to, that's enough to kick these cars out of the track. So that's why you're seeing these guys wreck so much, because they're just barely coming out because they just don't have that trigger acuity to, you know, go to the middle, you know. They're going over 3/4 of the way or whatever it may be. But that's what all the sensitivity and stuff is set on this controller. So if you don't have that learned, you can turn the sensitivity down and, you know, you can miss it by that much, and it's the same as if you hit it back here. It's not going to hurt the car as much if you got the sensitivity turned down low. So what you really want is your sensitivity on full and actually hit those spots. But that comes with turning laps. And Randy Kirtley, of course, he can run his sensitivity pretty high. And that's why he can hit those laps. He's off the throttle when he needs to be off. He's on when he should be on. And he's full throttle when he needs to be full throttle. I think he's great for Lanes Raceway. Yeah, is it kind of downtrodden that, you know, it's hard to get first place here because of that? It is. But at the same aspect, it's something to shoot for. Because the day that you actually beat him, that's a celebration, you know. Or the day that you beat Paul Woosley or Gabriel Kirtley, you know, those guys have the
the acuity in their triggers. So, you know, beating those guys and saying, hey, I'm there. I'm on their level now. You know, it's time to even move further. That's the kind of attitude that we want our guys to have. If we see Paul Woosley taking there on the purple lane on the inside of the black car of Glenn Burden, just dive bombing it a little bit deeper, running as hard as he can. Glenn Burden, like I said, is sticking to his word. He's just trying to make those laps. We see Tom Payton get the blue car of Amani Baxter back on. Gabriel Kirtley getting Jay Latham's car there back on white as they round about here. Jay Latham moving up to fourth position from fifth, right there behind Bruce Bullington, just a couple laps down. Bruce Bullington, Glenn Burden fighting tooth and nail yet again. Glenn Burden's hungry out there, folks, with that new body. He's wanting a little bit of Paul Woosley's action. He's wanting to take over that first position. He only needs 3 laps to do it.
Yellow flag.
As we get another yellow flag here, we see Gabriel Kirtley reaching up under the bridge to get a car put on.
Get ready.
And we're back ready. I think it was Jay Latham's car as he pulls it through there on white lane. Monty Baxter there with 131. Randy Kirtley with 75 total laps. Tom Payton getting Jay Latham put back on. As we kind of focus in around the horseshoe here, we see our leader, Paul Woosley, 152 laps. He's wanting it so bad he can taste it. But at the same time, he's trying to keep his resolve, keep his car on the track. We see Jay Latham's car coming off yet again. Tom Payton getting him slotted back in there nice and snugly. But going off the horseshoe on the backstretch, Paul Woosley trying to reel in a group again as we get another yellow flag there. Tom Payton getting that car of Glenn Burden's back there on black lane.
Go.
10 seconds left to go in this second round robin heat of 11. Still a bunch of racing left to go. As we see there on the orange car, Bruce Bullington really pushing it home as he takes over Glenn Burden's spot to finish up second place there. Bruce Bullington, every week he comes in, he gets stronger. Bruce Bullington actually turning our 80 laps there, first heat there, 80 laps on orange. Well, Randy Kirtley, first time back, running 86 total laps on red lane. He might be onto something with the Alios chassis as he's redone it and sorted in his weight on there. 86 laps on red. Randy Kirtley might actually push 90 tonight if he really pushes hard. Of course, Randy Kirtley really does love the red lane, so we'll see how he fares on towards the bottom lanes. I know he struggles a little bit on purple lane, but his struggle is usually still a high-grade amount of laps there. Totals right now, Paul Woosley 158 with 79 average. Bruce Bullington 155 with 77.5 average. And Glenn Burden with 77 average, 154 for your top three. Jay Latham there in fourth place with 147. Amani Baxter in fifth with 139. And Randy Kirtley there currently in sixth with 86 total laps. Stick around with us. We're going to take you over to the pinball scores as people are out there playing right now as we speak. And we'll be back here in about a minute or so. unmuted again, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry about that. But Bruce Bullington, Glenn Burden still fighting like it's Thursday night. Paul Woosley there in first place, 167 total laps. Monty Baxter there, 148 in fourth position. Randy Kirtley behind him with 97, and Gabriel Kirtley just getting back in here with 11 laps total. We'll see how Gabriel Kirtley does there on Red Lane. He's going to have to do at least 86 laps to be right there with Randy Kirtley's new car that he's fixed up today. All these cars, of course, teched here in the shop before we start the race, and it's in front of everybody. Everybody's got to run the same motor. They got to weigh 105 grams total weight to keep everything equal. They can run any 4-inch chassis they choose, but like I said, it has to meet that minimum weight. Jay Latham there quickly trying to get two cars on. One of those cars, Paul Woosley. Next to him, Amani Baxter, as they got the little Batman car there of Amani Baxter. He takes him on the inside and dumps Paul Woosley off into the dumpster there in the S portion of the track. I know it was unintentional as they made some contact right here, and his car straight bombed where Paul Woosley was out in the front, hit him right there in the back, flipped him over the side of the track there. Something to see if you want to go back and review that. But Paul Woosley back now on the track. Maybe tires just a hair dirty from the dust of the ground. But we do tend to keep the track nice and clean, so that shouldn't be much of an issue. As he dive bombs it down low and just makes quick work of that. As we see Jay Latham getting Amani Baxter back on. He lost a lap there, but he's back in the mix. But somebody that's really surprising to me seeing it right now, Bruce Bullington there on White Lane, really flooring it home, giving it everything he's got as he goes to reel in Paul Woosley. Paul Woosley kind of getting hung up right there behind him, though. Jay Latham on Red Lane, giving it, or Gabriel Kirtley there on Red Lane in that Mercedes. Ooh, Gabriel Kirtley really gets rough with Bruce Bullington. Gabriel Kirtley comes around here and decides to send Bruce Bullington right there to the inside wall. Some would say that's a little bit of a dirty move, but Gabriel Kirtley, he might be a part of the dark side there with Tom Payton. Giving it everything he's got might be an understatement. We see behind him the valiant Randy King Kirtley as something took place there with Gabriel Kirtley. As he come off the track there, Randy Kirtley was able to get him and pass him in a quick-like fashion. That's how quick half a lap can be lost. Just come off the track a little bit, Randy Kirtley's already got a half lap on him. But Gabriel Kirtley's Mercedes-Benz looking quite menacing there on Red Lane. Total turn to 32 total laps. As we get another couple cars coming off here. One of them, Bruce Bullington. The other one I cannot really see. We see Jay Latham trying to get those cars put back on the other side. I wish I had a quick to zoom or something feature here. Jay Latham getting him back on there. Everybody's saying it's nice and cool out there. I will say this, inside the shop, quite warm, pretty warm here. We get another yellow flag there, and Jay Latham looking under the bridge, but it seems to be Tom Payton there as he's quick on that button. Paul Woosley, your current leader, 191 laps, followed by Bruce Bullington right there behind him and Glenn Burton both, 186. Monty Baxter, 168, just about 20 laps or so down. Randy Kirtley climbing up with 122. Gabriel Kirtley there with 36 total laps as he's coming back in his first time. A hard hit there. Somebody's underneath the bridge, and that was a hard hit, ladies and gentlemen. But I guess they hit and came right back in. See Gabriel Kirtley rounding about the way. We get another track call there. That might be Gabriel Kirtley coming off. Getting a little bit rusty there in his older age as he took a couple weeks off vacation himself. Maybe getting a little soft out there. I hate to say it, he's my brother, but I mean, I'll say it to anybody, if you're getting soft, you're getting soft, and I think he might be getting a little soft. He might need to holler at Hulk Hogan. Maybe they need to go work out a little bit, get that trigger finger a little bit more muscle. There on White Lane, though, we see what a beautiful race Bruce Bullington's having. He is hungry, too. All these guys are hungry. They're ready to knock the Kirtleys down off their pedestal. 192, Glenn Burden and Bruce feeding off of each other as they are running some really good races. Of course, like I said, Glenn Burden got him a fresh body. That boosts confidence bigger than anything. I know back in the day when I first started playing golf, Nothing made me play better golf than getting me a new set of golf clubs. Well, the same thing's true for racing slot cars. Nothing makes you a better racer than getting you some new equipment, new body, new chassis, anything. Just keeps you rolling. Gabriel Curley making a nice clean pass there on Bruce Bullington on red lane. This time he didn't shoot him off in the wall. Amani Baxter, a whole lot cleaner racing this week. As he's gotten a little bit more of a handle on the track. As you can see, he's not really pushing it. He's just running his lap, trying to make a nice clean pass of everything. Of course, the first time he was on here, had a little bit of trouble staying in and stuff, but that's to be expected. But man, he is running the daylights out of that Batmobile as he was keeping Paul Woosley off on his toes for about 3 laps there, only giving up 1. That can easily be gotten back though, as you guys know, just simply by staying on. Eventually people's resolve kind of breaks and you see guys coming off all the time. That's the beautiful thing about slot car racing. Do what makes you comfortable. As long as you're comfortable and you keep the car in, you'll gradually get faster. The key is trying to tell your brain, hey, we don't need to be fast right now. We just need to be consistent. That's the hard thing. It's just like, well, I can do an analogy to golf again. Try to tell a rookie golfer when he sets up to take a drive not to swing with everything he's got in him. It's hard, you know, because you see the ball go so far, you don't know that the club does all the work, you know. Same thing with driving slot cars. You got to let the car do the work and not overdrive the tires. If you can do this, you can make those babies hum. Oh, Randy Curley getting doused over there through that 3 wide intersection between red, white, and green as he gets dumped out there and gets collected there in the center by, I believe, Paul Woosley. So it's good hard hits there in the front end like that. We see Jay Latham get the car of Gabriel Curley put back on real quick, slaps that baby in there. Nice and clean. But yeah, I mean, it's funny to see these cars get collected on the backstretch, but if you are one of those racers that gets collected, man, it is heart-dropping. I've had it happen to me. So we see Bruce Bullington get collected there by the red car of Gabriel Curley. It's so quick, there's nothing you can really do. When they slide down like that, you're already coming full speed off the backstretch. It's pretty much, you're lucky if you don't get smoked. And, you know, that one wasn't as bad as I've seen, but it could be bad enough that it could have messed up the downforce just a little bit on someone's body and make it a little bit harder to race. I've seen them as bad as just completely bending the axles to where that they will not drive at all. So, you know, as hard as these guys are running and they're slipping out, it's just a matter of time before cars are damaged. 3 cars, Bruce Bullington, Randy Curley, Gabriel Curley there in your horseshoe as they round about. All of them staying pretty close together, but we see there in the donut, Bruce Bullington's car giving way as he comes out. Glenn Burden now taking over second position there with 224 laps. Bruce Bullington there in third with 222. Somewhat of a little bit of a gap there as Bruce has ran into a little bit of trouble there on White Lane. One of the tougher lanes for sure. Gabriel Curley running a total of 75 laps here with 31 seconds left to go. He's going to have to increase that by 10 laps before this is over with to even match up with Randy Curley. Randy Curley decided he was coming back in swinging for the fences, ready to take anyone out in this path. 86 total laps, I believe, is what he ran on red. So that's just a little bit of what's going on with Randy Curley's car right now.
Get ready.
Glenn Burden hanging on there, though. He's not willing to stop fighting until his last breath. Bruce Bullington the same way. They're trying to reel in Paul Woosley here, and they're doing an okay job staying with him. Paul Woosley's doing an exceptional job staying on, folks. I know he said he was going to do the worst out of everybody, but he is doing a good job staying on. And this is what it takes to win the race. Can you have more resolve than the next racer and not wreck? But Randy Curley and Gabriel Curley, both this heat turning 81 laps, respectfully. Gabriel Curley now turning 82. So Gabriel Curley's just a little bit ahead of Randy there in turnings of laps. But I don't think that because he's wrecked so many times there at the beginning on red, I don't think he's going to be able to catch Randy's 86. He may get 84. If we get a red flag rotation here, we see Gabriel did finish with 84, 2 laps down from Randy Kirtley's red. It's still going to be a nail biter between those two before this is all said and done. Paul Woolsey's still currently your leader out there with 80 laps. You can see the difference here. You know, his averages, Randy Kirtley and Gabriel Kirtley's laps, about 5 laps difference currently. But as long as Paul Woolsey still continues to keep it on, like I said, he's running 82, 80 laps there down low. He just needs a little bit of luck, and hopefully these guys get involved in some incidents to kind of take their averages down. That's going to have to happen. You know, everybody that's lower averagely speaking needs everyone that's above them to take some shots. That's just the nature of the game. So Glenn Burden there, 77.7. What a lucky number, as he's in second place right now. Bruce Bullington there with 77 total average laps, right there with him, just neck and neck. Amani Baxter, wow, he's up in the mix here, 70.7 as his average this week. That's really good for him as he's just started out. Jay Latham there, 73.5. So yeah, I'm loving to see what these guys are doing. They're progressing quite well. And you don't just have to run 5 races. See, that's why I'm seeing these guys increasing their averages. So I know that after they run their 5 races, they can come back and run more and replace some of those earlier races where they were kind of getting their feet wet, their nerves were kind of bothering them. The track may have been a little messed up. Like I said, I did a little manipulation on the donut. So the donut's helping keep people in now. There was a point where it was this much on black, purple, and yellow before the tires were touching around that donut from where people were leaning on it. I stuck that wood up under there and we ran it in today. Now it's shrunk to that much. So now the rear tires are hooking a lot more. The cars are staying in a lot more. So these people are going to be able to progress. And I'm always looking for things like that on the track. So by the end of it all, they'll be able to actually run more laps towards the end of the season. About 50 seconds, I'm going to let you guys take a look at these June leaderboards. Going to take a small break and be right back with you. All right, sorry about that. I was a little bit late. We can already see that the race has already started. Paul Woolsey still currently your leader there with 242. We are now in round robin 4 of 11. Glenn Burden there in second with 235 total laps. Amani Baxter there now in third with 213. Randy Kirtley with 172. Gabriel Kirtley with 86. And Tom Payton now freshly coming in as he's done his set outs there with 2 laps. Excited to see how Tom's going to do, as he's been on somewhat of a hiatus, going on vacation. Everybody loving to take vacation in summer. I need to take me a vacation in summer. I usually take them during winter, though, for some reason. I'm a little weird, I guess. But, yeah, good to see Tom back, because we seen him Thursday here. He was running very, very aggressively. He was right there with Paul Woolsey all the way up until a certain event took place, and then he kind of fell apart a little bit, but they were still kind of close, within 5 or so laps, I believe. And they did that all the way up to the 7th heat, and then they flip-flopped, and they busted out, wrecked, and had all kinds of manner of things, broken guide flags and everything else, and that caused them to come out of the race. And that gave leeway for Glenn Burden and Bruce Bullington to sweep in there real quick and take over the lead. So pretty much that initially makes that race for them a drop, right? And it's just like I was explaining just a few minutes ago. Once you get your 8 races in LMP Thunder or your 5 races in any of the Rumble series, the rookie series, after that, if you do better, you just replace those races. So you just have to get you good 8 races. If you can get good 8 races where nobody messes with you, you're good to go. You now see Jay Latham there on the button as he's going to help track marshal. If anybody comes off, he'll hit that button. But as we can see, everybody running nice and smooth together. We got 2 ghosts in this heat. And we see Bruce Bullington on the other side of the donut. And what a race Bruce has been having here recently. Paul Woosley, like I said, he's out in the lead with 254. He'll probably stay in the lead up until the point that he comes out, unless he can give a little bit of leeway to Glenn Burden in the next couple heats.
Get ready.
As we see the cluster up taking place there around the donut portion of the track, we got Randy Kirtley neck and neck there with Gabriel Kirtley in the S turns. There in the black, just right behind them there, we got Amani Baxter there currently in 3rd place. And right in front of them on orange, we got Glenn Burden fighting for 1st place. 6 laps down from Paul Woosley, but he's reeling them in as he's got 17 laps to Paul's 16. So he's hungry. He's trying to get Paul. Glenn, Randy Kirtley straight shunts Glenn Burden right here on this portion of the track, or this portion of the track. He shunts Glenn Burden directly into the wall about right there. You can go back and review that if you like, but man, what a hard hit. Glenn Burden might actually have a little bit of front nose damage after that, but Glenn Burden's car been running very good up until this point. We'll see how things develop. Could be just the rustiness of King Kirtley, Randy Kirtley, coming back from a long hiatus. Forgot that there was a car next to him. But it looks like it didn't faze Glenn Burden as the button got hit real quick. Glenn Burden's now back on the grind, but it did cost him that lap that he had gained on Paul Woosley. He's going to have to hunt that lap back and try to reel in Paul Woosley. So we get a wreck there in the S portion of the turn. Glenn Burden gets involved in a little bit of an incident, and we also got Amani Baxter there needing to get put back on. Jay Latham's getting him back on in a nice fashion. We're good to go. Glenn Burden's now got to reel in Paul Woosley. Paul Woosley coming around. Looks like, I believe that was Paul Woosley involved in that incident. Now, Paul Woosley was involved in that incident, now giving back that small lead there to Glenn Burden. Glenn Burden needing to make another lap up there to try to reel in Paul Woosley. We can see Amani Baxter there, 27 laps to their 28, so he's running pretty good and consecutive here. Randy Kirtley and Gabriel Kirtley somewhat of outliers there as they run 31 and 32 respectively. Randy Kirtley running like he's got fire on his tires. Tom Payton there currently running 23 laps there on red lane. Having a little bit of an issue here, it looks like, as he's coming off every once in a while. Yeah.
Get ready.
All right, we see Bruce Bullington there giving just a little bit of a love tap there to Gabriel Kirtley, getting his cars up and rolling. And it was just enough. But we see a sidewinder of a car there on the donut. We see Jay Latham getting it fixed up. I think that might have been Amani Baxter's ride there, as he's now hit 30 laps. Tom Payton there with 26 laps. Whether there's something up with it, no, it was Tom Payton's car there having a little bit of an issue there. Well, Tom Payton there, as you can tell, I'm not used to him driving that beautiful body. That body actually just came in here at Lanes Raceway. That's a Lotus, the 31 Lotus Lola. Those bodies are hard to get from JK. If you know anything about slot car racing, you know that that's a pretty tough one to get. It's interesting to see. 3, 2. I believe this dude just put a dial in. Godzilla shut off.
Yellow flag.
I believe a young gentleman here accidentally put $1 in Godzilla. We might need to refund his money. As Godzilla was currently shut off during our live stream here, so that it kind of makes it where people don't get in front of the camera. But I'll make sure my wife credits him his $1 back, because I did watch him put full quarters in there. Kind of a sad situation. Nonetheless, we'll make sure he gets refunded there. Jay Latham there getting what looks to be Gabriel Kirtley's car somewhat fixed up there. Front end caved in on it. Always sad to see when your car takes a real good front nose shot. He's right there next to Randy Kirtley's car. Both green and blue. These guys neck and neck with each other. Glenn Burton on orange, though, still fighting with everything he's got. 39 laps. He ended up losing the lap there to Paul Woosley, whether it be from wrecks or whatever may come. But he is fighting, folks. He's wanting to pull that next rank up. Paul Woosley, he's just doing exactly what he said, just running consecutive laps and not wrecking. 44 total laps. He's kind of reeling in Randy and Gabriel Kirtley there. He's only about 5 laps down from them. And essentially all that is just the rhythm and staying on. So keeping that, tough regard there as they go around Glenn Burden and Gabriel Kirtley, Randy do, and man, what a tight squeeze it was around that donut, but all of them ran so tightly and clean. We see Gabriel Kirtley and Randy Kirtley coming to a stop there at the horseshoe. These guys are landlocked together, running tight, neither one of them giving up an inch. This is the kind of racing we'd love all of our guys to have, just there landlocked with each other, grouping up, running as hard as they can go. Gabriel Kirtley quick off the draw there in that Mid-America Gemini chassis. Next to him, Randy Kirtley back to the JK Alios, going to give it a shot. Gabriel Kirtley coming off, just cannot hold the resolve as he gets slid off the backside of the track there. Maybe dirty tires, who knows, might have got involved in somewhat of an incident there. But nonetheless, his car sliding off there, costing him a lap as he drops down to 58 laps. Paul Woosley running exceptional here right now. 55 total laps, only 3 laps down from Randy Kirtley and Gabriel Kirtley. And he's on yellow lane, folks. He's on a wider donut portion. That's the portion where you get the quickest time transition. So it's going to be a nail biter, I would say, between them, as long as everybody can hold their resolve and not getting a bunch of incidents. But do not count Glenn Burden out. Glenn Burden right now, he's fighting. He's lost a couple laps this heat, but he has been fighting Paul Woosley within 3 to 4 laps. As we see Paul Woosley there coming off, that's the kind of stuff that Glenn would like to see. Tom Payton there with 46 total laps currently there on red lane. Turning his best lap of a 3.975. That's about relative what we mostly see usually. Can you get it down lower than that? You sure can. But, you know, Tom getting used to a new body, it's just a matter of time before he can work that out. Monty Baxter with an impressive 3.740 best time there on Black Lane. Black Lane tends to be a little bit harder to run those faster lap times because you got to carry so much speed through the donut and then immediately let off. But man, turning a 3.7, that's right there on par with people. It isn't the fastest I've seen. I've seen faster. We see Randy Kirtley and them, of course, running 3.3 second times. Of course, those are faster, but they're on the middle lanes towards the center. And I believe that you can run those faster towards the center. We get what seems to be a follower there on the track. It was Glenn Burden as he makes a little bit of a hippie yell to try to get his car put back on its proper lane. But he's really back into 3 laps, folks. It was down by about, I think, the total of 10. So he's got her 63 to 66 right now. And it's good to see that Glenn's putting that fight back up. Now, of course, Paul had him a wreck earlier, and that helped a lot. But that's your top 2 currently right now. In succession, 9 laps separates them from each other. Or, well, it shows 10, but it's actually about 9 laps is what separates these guys. 3.63 median and 3.94. And that's the difference between these lanes on the inside cuts. Yellow is definitely an inside cut lane for sure. As the only thing that you get the big draw on is, of course, the donut, but everything else is inside cut. Hey, T, that guy in the orange hat, ask him if he put $1 in Godzilla. Okay, good. I don't want him leaving until you give him his money back. We got 10 seconds left to go. We see a little bit of a transition there. My software catching back up. We're currently running decent. We've only had 11 frames drop this series, or in this race. And we get a red flag to go. 3 laps is what separated Paul Woosley from Glenn Burden. What a race they both had that heat. Paul Woosley 319 currently. 10 laps separates him from Glenn Burden. Averagely speaking, 79.8 for Paul Woosley, 77.2 for Glenn Burden. Amani Baxter there in third place, 71.8, bringing his average up by a full point, 1.8. Randy Kirtley there with 85 as an average. Bruce Bullington 77 as an average. So he's right there neck and neck with Glenn Burden. 85 is Gabriel Kirtley. So Gabriel and Randy kind of close together, close knit. Jay Latham 73.5 with that new motor. He's probably got to break those brushes in before they can start coming alive a little bit. Tom Payton there with 66 laps on red, about 20 or so laps down, getting used to that new body. We'll see how things change as we develop this race on a little bit further. I'm going to take about a 2-minute break and we'll be right back here with you guys. Well, that's good. All right, looks like we might have another member joining up to the Little Rumble series. I'm not for sure. I'm not gonna say that that's the way it is yet. But they did just purchase him a nice Corvette C8 here at Lanes Raceway for the GRC series, and hopefully they get in it and try to get that big check. We get a little bit of a cluster up here between 4 racers here. Paul Woosley, one of them in the mix. It looks like Tom Payton right there on the left side of him as they all push hard. Looks like Gabriel Kirtley there on blue right under the underside of Paul Woosley. And it looks like one of them lost resolve as we see that Randy Kirtley's down there on purple. Gabriel Kirtley trying to reel him in to the best of his ability. So I believe that was Paul Woosley that came off there. Jay Latham on deck. Just asked me a while ago if he was coming back in. I said, no, you're on deck. So he'll be coming back in next heat. Looks like Glenn Burden's going to be coming out this heat. Nice. Get another yellow flag there. We see Bruce Bullington. You can tell this man is trying to be the best track marshal he can possibly be. You see how quick he got those cars on, even with the button press. I love Bruce. And like I said, I'm rooting for Bruce. Like, let me get one of these in the picture here. American Muscle, baby, right there, Mustang. Of course, Bruce, he's driving the Shelby Daytona Cobra in the series, that yellow car. And I'm rooting for him. I can't help it. I mean, yeah, I own the place, but I'm rooting for him. Only guy to be representing American Muscle. You got to root for American Muscle. and you know, he's doing quite well. I think the last time we seen him in, he was running for second or third place. When he comes back in, we'll see if he can hold that up, keep that going. Look like Tom Payton there letting the guys go on by to keep that cluster from taking places. Like I said, Tom's getting used to that body. Nobody coming back in on this heat. We got a ghost on red. No, you're fine. We got 2 track marshals out there. They're doing a fine job. Round robin heat 5 of 11. After this race, of course, you guys know we're going to head right into the Rookie Rumble. I believe the kids and stuff, they're wanting to do it on the orange track, but we may or may not do it on the orange track. We might do it on the oval track. It just depends. And the Rookie Rumble is still up too. Also, if you'd like to get in on it, it requires you to have a 4.5-inch GRC with a 929 tooth crown gear, or a 1032, and that keeps it at 3.2 or 3.22. So just a little bit different in the gear ratio, but I mean, I had to keep it stock gear ratio. Like I said, some of them come with 10 tooth pinion, so you know, can't argue that. Paul Woosley doing an exceptional job turning 19 laps. Gabriel Kirtley out in the lead turning laps this heat with 22. Probably not involved in any incident as of yet. Also the fastest time was 3.341. Monty Baxter there in third place, turning 306 total laps right now. He's currently turned 19 laps. He's there tied with Tom Payton. And his median of a 4.18. 3.750 is his fastest best lap. Another yellow flag there. We got 3 minutes and 30 seconds left to go in this heat. Like I said, these are endurance heats, and it's all about how hard you can hang on, and will your motor make it, or will the brushes give out?
Yellow flag. Get ready. Yellow flag.
Hey, Weston. Team told me to tell you,
Get ready.
Randy Kirtley there on purple lane, but it kind of looks like he's standing on black lane there. I wish we could zoom in on some of his trigger movement. You would kind of see how quick you got to be flicking off that trigger. But if you kind of focus in there in the bottom right-hand portion of your track, you can kind of see how he works his fingers there. And maybe use that for your technique. Because currently right now he is our best racer here at Lanes Raceway. And he's got that little butterfly looking finger rolling there every once in a while when he goes through the S turns. You can kind of see him just butterfly that trigger. And it's an art, folks. It's definitely an art. I love to see it. Paul Woosley still out in the lead there, 29 laps total turned. Just shy of what Randy and Gabriel have been turning. Of course, they're on the midfield just like Paul, so it's relatively close to what they can do. About 0.2 of a second down from those guys. If they're running 3.4, 3.6 second medians. Gabriel Kirtley going to be a force to be reckoned with, it looks like, is he's pushing up on Randy Kirtley a little bit. Is Randy Kirtley just going to hold his resolve, kind of keep fast pace laps as he's used to, or is he actually going to push this home and try to take everything? Still under speculation what these guys can and can't do, but they are good racers. They're good racers everywhere they've ever been racing. So when you got these guys, it's just, they're tough. But if you can get a hold of them, you can go anywhere and race these guys, or race anybody, because they're racing up there with those guys. Now, I'm not going to say they're the best in the world, but I can definitely tell you this, that they could probably race with the best in the world. They don't wreck. I mean, that's what it boils down to. They don't wreck, and they run good laps. And that's what it takes, folks, for you to run in, like, national races, stuff like that. It takes you not wrecking. It takes you running pretty fast pace lap. So, car's got to be straight. Braid's got to be flat. We see a car coming off there at the bottom of the track. Old long arms Randy Kirtley there gets put back on orange. That is Paul Woosley, our current leader, coming off there on the back stretch. His best lap of 3.578. A big mad rush up underneath the bridge as we get 5 wide and a little bit of a love tap, knocking that car back into its own lane on orange. Paul Woosley getting a little bit of a jostle between these guys. But nobody wanted to give up any inch whatsoever. Now we kind of stagger out a little bit. Probably go a couple laps before anything happens. Usually the guys turn their best laps when they're kind of staggered out like that. And start bunching up again. We might see a wreck here shortly. A little bit of a wad up there for Glenn Burden. His car kind of got hiccuped up there in the S corner. It was weird. Glenn Burden, we worked a little bit on his guide flag. We got a car off on the front stretch there. It looks to be a Monty Baxter's car. But yeah, we worked a little bit on his guide flag. His guide flag was abnormally sharp in the front end, so we kind of dulled that down a little bit. Before that, he was getting hung up on red lane to the point that the back end was bucking, so that we kind of trimmed that down a little bit, took about 1/8 of an inch off of it, rounded it, and ever since then it's been doing a whole lot better. As you can see, Glenn Burden there in second place. He is still biting at the bit trying to get Paul Woosley. He's losing a couple laps here and there, but he's keeping it within 1 lap, it seems, every single heat. Now, kind of a little incident, I guess, because I'm talking about him. So hopefully I can just get off subject and not interfere with his race. But what a race he's having tonight, nonetheless. We got a session token go bad. It's going to take me just a second to get that thing fired back up.
Get ready.
All right, we're back up and going.
Get ready.
Looks like I robbed a little bit too much of the processing power here. So our stream may hiccup here for a second.
Get ready.
All right, so everything's still trying to catch up a little bit. I think we might be good now. Getting the yellow flag call there, and I think we're back up on modern time here. As you can see, our cameras are kind of speeding up there a little bit. My computer is doing everything it could to process me starting up the controls there.
Yellow flag.
It's funny to see, like, you start one of these new and you don't change nothing, and then they just progressively gets worse on the screen. It's just the way it is. We might end up, before this series is over, might end up having to make another one. But it takes about a day or so to make it fresh again. But yeah, so far it's been doing quite well, just keeping it kind of simple like this. Some of it could just be done to all the other stuff I got running in the background here to just make Lanes Raceway work. Because not only is this track running, but you can see the kids there in the background running their GRCs, probably getting ready to run the next race.
Get ready.
Randy Kirtley turning 68 laps, having a little bit of trouble there on purple. Like I said, he usually has a couple issues there on purple. Gabriel Kirtley running 72 laps right now on blue lane.
Go.
46 seconds left to go. Will anybody be able to make it to 90 laps tonight? That's the question I got anyway. Now, I don't know for sure if they will, but we'll see. TJ Latham reaching up underneath that track yet again to get a car.
Get ready.
Like I said, we freshly glued Dead Man's Corner, but getting that rhythm down to keep the cars from tilting over, it's just something that just takes some time to learn, to be quick at. You know?
Yellow flag.
Did another yellow flag call there. I think that might have been Amani's car coming off and going right back into his lane. These are the issues you have if you don't blip. The blip area, of course, right here close to Randy Kirtley. It's about this area right here. You just need to let off about right here, then immediately get back in it about right here. On red, white, and green, and you'll be safe. But Amani's down there on yellow, so I don't know why he came off. Just an anomaly, I suppose. We get a little bit of a spread out, and the guys are kind of trying to cluster up there around Randy Kirtley and Gabriel Kirtley there on blue, and I think we might have had an incident there underneath the bridge. But Randy Kirtley and Gabriel Kirtley made it out safe as they go to reel in Paul Woosley there on orange. We'll see if they can do it. See Randy Kirtley coming off. Gabriel Kirtley still in the fight trying to reel in Paul Woosley. Both of them there in the horseshoe portion of the track. Paul Woosley, the man to beat right now, as he is currently on top. Gabriel Kirtley makes a dart out of the line there, getting in front of Paul Woosley, but too aggressive there as he hammers down there on the horseshoe, causing his car to flick out there, giving Paul Woosley about a half a lap there, full throttle. So now he's going to have another half lap to try to catch up with Paul Woosley.
Red flag.
And that's it, folks. As you can see, we kind of lagged out there. The computer is trying to process about 30 things. Trying to see what everything's running. Paul Woosley, your current leader with 79.6 average. Glenn Burden, 77.2. 71 average for Amani Baxter. Randy Kirtley there in fourth place with 84.5, and Gabriel Kirtley right behind him with 85.7. Neither of anybody out there tonight has reached the 90, but we'll see. Bruce Bullington there with 77, and Jay Latham 73.5 is an average. 69.5 is an average for Tom Payton. Going to need to get that average up a little bit, but we can see that Tom Payton didn't do a bad run there on green. He's third right now on green. Total laps of 139. We still got a lot of racing left to go. We're just about halfway there, but we are at round robin heat 5 of 11. I want to take a small break and be right back with you.
The race starts in 1 minute. Race starts in 40 seconds.
If you guys could tell, our Rookie Rumble Series race is going to get pushed back a little bit. The L&T Series race is taking a little bit longer. I can't tell you. We're around heat 6 of 11, right?
Race starts in 20 seconds.
So we're about a little over halfway.
Race starts in 5
All right,
seconds.
5 seconds, and we'll be going back green racing. Just letting the guys know that the Rookie Rumble race tonight is going to get pushed back just a hair, but we should be underway shortly after this race. Might have to skip practice and just get to teching. So might talk to the kiddos there if they're going to get in it and just go ahead and get them teched before we start the race and then move directly on over into that race. Of course, we'll cut this stream and we'll start up another one. just so that the videos are a little bit different. In case you're just following one series or another, that way you don't have to skip through about 2 hours worth of content. One of the reasons why it's taking just a little bit longer to get through this is we're getting a lot of track calls. This is supposed to be a live race, but the guys don't listen. They like hitting that track call button. And I'm not going to stop them. I guess now, since it's been over halfway, we're just going to continue to let them hit that track call button. But I would rather run full-fledged live races here because it keeps people on their toes, makes them have to run clean races. You hit the track call button all the time, nobody really gets in a good rhythm. It always cuts rhythm and makes them make more mistakes. So when one car is wrecked, and we're seeing here, and it's not just Glenn here, of course he just not got in here, but it's been everybody that's on the button. As soon as one car wrecks, they hit the track call button. So it really shouldn't be that way. It should be just if one person wrecks, you get them on when you can get them on and let this thing roll. We're talking 5-minute heats here. So, you're going to lose some laps, but you'll gain some laps. But the thing is, keep your car online. That's the whole portion and purpose of this race. And as we can see, I'll get a little bit of kickback every now and then. Paul Woolsey, he's going to be coming out this heat, so this will be the last heat that he's leading as he's going to start falling off for the next 3 heats. As we can see, Amani Baxter there in second place with 364 total laps. As he's increased from third place, he's trying to keep Randy Kirtley off of his heels. He's got this heat and one more before he has to come out. But Randy Kirtley and Gabriel Kirtley, of course, far superior when it comes to average laps being made. Jay Latham there, second to last there on red lane as he's back in now. He came off deck with 159. We'll see if he can increase that. Tom Payton with 151 down there on blue lane. Doing quite well with 3.87 and 3.733 is his best lap. Bruce Bullington, he's on deck. He'll be coming back in next. Someone will take his position. As we see a little bit of an incident taking place up on the S portion of the tracks. We see Tom Payton, a little hair triggered there, getting involved there with the purple or white car on purple of Gabriel Kirtley. So they all roll through the S portion turns of this track. We can see that Randy Kirtley is out there, but he kind of does a brake check there to Gabriel Kirtley. Gabriel Kirtley might have drove her a little bit deep there. And that's exactly what they said. He drove me in too hard and brake checked me and all this. So a little bit of banter back and forth between these two little cats right here. Usual suspects, anything goes wrong, never their fault. Just remember that. We can continue racing here. We can see another clutch up taking place there. That beautiful Porsche of Jay Latham's there on black, getting a little bit of a love rub and a hard hit up against the guide flag of Paul Woolsey on white. There on blue lane right next to him, another beautiful car there, the Lola 31 Porsche, or Lotus of Tom Payton. As he's getting used to those Lola bodies, he's running very, very fast and smooth. You can barely hear his car run. He's running neck and neck with his uncle Paul Woolsey as they're giving it everything they got. Just a little bit back behind Paul Woolsey. Paul Woolsey having the inside advantage of white lane where Tom Payton's running as hard as he can on blue. About 0.2 of a second differentiates these two racers. The fastest currently is a 3.372 of a stock out of the box Mid-America Gemini chassis of Gabriel Kirtley. That thing is mail hauling, folks, and it's just out of the box. We can see someone having some issues here. About 30 seconds or so is what the guys get before we have to go back green racing. Get another yellow flag there down on black as we see a car coming off there. Like it just kind of rattled out, maybe back in. Randy Kirtley reaching down there to see what's going on.
Yellow flag. Get ready. Yellow flag. Get ready. Yellow flag. Get ready. Yellow flag.
You got the same thing, you like the red truck there, and you come up here and
Get ready. Yellow flag. Get ready. Yellow flag. Get ready. Yellow flag. Get ready. Yellow flag. Get ready. Yellow flag.
that car right there, you know, the pin down.
Get ready.
Purple one, yeah. That's why it keeps coming off.
That's why you keep jumping track. That's why you keep jumping off the track.
Get ready. Yellow flag. Get ready. Yellow flag.
Hey.
Get ready. Yellow flag. Get ready. Yellow flag. Get ready. Yellow flag. Ready. Red flag. Eat over.
Grab it right there and just push down on it and pull up on it. Right here.
Okay, well, that whole time I thought I had that muted, so I guess you guys heard that conversation. But anyways, that was kind of a quick breakdown of what all's going on here at Lanes Raceway. We see Paul Woosley still currently a leader with 475 total laps. Amani Baxter there in second with 429. Randy Kirtley right there on him with 423. Glenn Burton 386. Gabriel Kirtley with 346. Bruce Bullington 231. Jay Latham 219 and 217 of Tom Payton. So, like I said, these guys really putting it in the best that they can. We've got about a couple minutes and we'll be right back with you. Sorry about the long hiatus there of not commentating the race, but hopefully you heard a conversation between me and an individual there about getting started in choosing a class and what to race. That's pretty much the big spiel. I wish you guys would just, oh, it was muted? All right, cool. Well, either way, it was a big, huge conversation about all of our individual classes and just kind of giving him a heads up of what's hot right now. I told him that the Mid-America Gemini chassis, of course, that's what Gabriel Kirtley's running. That's what Glenn Burden's running. That's what Randy Kirtley was running up until today. He's running an Alios now. But that is one of the hot chassis right out of the gate, just giving it all. Yeah, we'll do it next because everybody's already got their cars and kit. So we'll be checking weight this coming heat here. Kind of already forgot about that. I'm supposed to, check weight at least once per race, but I get the motor mouthing, and I forget to make the announcement. So next heat, we'll definitely make that announcement one way or the other. But yeah, we got a lot of interesting things. I don't know if you guys have seen that Gemini chassis. Man, it is frail. And I don't know how it's so fast, but man, is it a screamer. It is a super screamer. And it handles so well. And I almost think it's due to how flimsy it is in the center, how well it handles. But you can take a look at Randy Kirtley's car, Glenn Burden's car, and you can see how well it goes through the S-turns here on this orange track. We're fixing to go back green racing here. We can see a little bit of a stutter there in the software as it goes to catch up. But we are back green racing. Amani Baxter there getting involved in an incident there. As we see Paul Woosley didn't see him there. Like I said, the best place to stand is about right back here, if you're a person, right here. Because that way you can actually see that portion of the track. If you're up there real close, it kind of cuts off the peripheral vision about in this area. We don't really enforce where the guys stand. The only thing I like to tell the guys is don't stand right here in this area, because it blocks off the sight lines of black lane. Which in this situation, you know, is Gabriel Kirtley, so Clint Burton might just do it in spite. Clint, because he loves to give Gabriel a hard time, he might stand right here, throw his hands out like this at Gabriel, YMCA style. Just say, hey, Gabriel, not today. But no, Glenn's too good of a guy to do that. As you can see there, he's pulling himself back there. But I love how they have a little bit of back and forth banter. A lot of history there between Glenn Burton, Randy Kirtley, and Gabriel Kirtley. They all used to race together on dirt, and here they are racing block cars together. We see a stalled out car there on blue lane. I believe that to be Tom Payton's beautiful Lotus, as he comes up out of the track there on purple lane. He's standing there next to Gabriel Kirtley, like a couple buddies from back in the day. We now see Bruce Bullington back in the mix here on red lane with 238 laps. He's going to have 4 more heats of action. All he's got to do is run his own lane, and he's going to do well today, getting up a lot more laps here. We're going to total those laps tonight and get them posted there on Facebook. And I'm also going to make an email giving an updated count and see if the order of where people are located in the series has changed, and definitely try to get that updated so that people can hear it on 94.7 WVIO. There's also an ESPN channel, I think it's 107.1 maybe, that is also streamed to out in the open world, I guess, or on Sirius Radio. A big wad up crash taking place down here on the front stretch involving Amani, Bruce Bullington, and I believe Jay Latham. He knocked a sticker off of it. Bruce Bullington going back on red. We see Bruce Bullington, he's going to go over there and get him a red sticker on there, but who can mistake the beauty of that car? It don't need a sticker. They know it's on red. Amani Baxter coming out there on white lane. Amani Baxter now currently your leader in round robin 7 of 11. Amani going to be coming out this heat. He's run 448 laps. 2 laps differentiates him from Randy Kirtley.
Get ready. Go. Yellow flag.
Several drop frames took place. I don't know when they did, but 3,857 drop frames so far in this tree. That's a big jump from what we were used to. Glenn Burton getting those cars put back on in a nice timely fashion, making sure that they're able to take off there in the high bank. Somewhat of a stutter there on the Monty's car on white there on the back stretch. A little bit of a cluster up there as we get another car kind of get bumped off its lane there on purple. That's Tom Payton's Lotus. Gabriel Kirtley currently running 29 laps. Randy Kirtley out in front of him 2 laps, it looks like, 30-31. They all start to climb. Bruce Bullington there with 27 laps. Jay Latham with 28. Tom Payton at 22. Amani with 26. 1 1 lap separates Randy Kirtley from Amani there in the lead.
Yellow flag.
We see Bruce Bullington's car there kick sideways as he tries to pull a full-blown drift move there on red.
Get ready.
Current fastest best lap right now is a 3.388 on yellow lane by Randy Kirtley.
Yellow flag.
Got another yellow flag rolling. 2 minutes and 55 seconds left in this heat, and that beautiful car we see there on green lane, Jay Latham's Porsche. I think it says cash roll. Jay Latham able to make it through that wreck underneath the bridge. Looks like Bruce Bullington didn't escape that wreck as he gets bumped in the back end by another vehicle.
Get ready.
Randy Kirtley was able to inch out Amani Baxter there by 1 lap. The previous lap, turning 37 laps. Gabriel Kirtley there with 383. Third place, turning 38 laps. Bruce Bullington 33 laps, 34 now. Jay Latham 36. And Tom Payton 30. All of them deep, clustered up, caused one of them to come out of the track there.
Get ready.
It's always scary when you come out of the track there in the high banks because they're packing so much G-force there. The gravity just pulls them out. Man, it's going to sling them hard. But that's the second time that Tom Payton's come out of there, and it didn't really affect him that much. Looks like here on the horseshoe, we had Jay Latham and Amani Baxter there getting a little bit of a tussle there. But that's one thing I've been noticing here lately, too, is that even the wrecks are not as brutal as it was, a year ago. And that's a good sign, because, a year ago, we were hearing a lot of just hard hits there in Dead Man's Corner. Now it's rare. It's usually whenever the track gets shut off and somebody loses a brake, they smack it, or they lose track of their car and they smack it. And I think a lot of the times, I think about Clay Dane. He always wants a car that differentiates itself from the pack. Of course, I think that award, at least in this series, has to go to Bruce Bullington, because if you can't tell where Bruce's car is on this track, you're blind. It's the only car I know with that bright yellow. And I don't really know if there's that many other cars in the series that are even yellow, or even if we have one yellow. We got some darker color cars, several black cars in this series, a couple whites, a couple silvers, and I think a couple blues. So that yellow definitely sticks out. As we can see, Bruce Bullington's car getting a little bit radical there through the S turns, causing it to pop out just a smidgen. 3.359 now, your fastest time, ran by Gabriel Kirtley.
Yellow flag.
We get a
Yellow flag. Get ready.
minute and 42 seconds left in the heat.
Yellow flag. Get ready. Yellow flag. Get ready.
See Randy Kirtley there sidewind hit the car of Tom Payton right in the side there on the horseshoe portion of the track. He just plowed it right on in there. I hear the pop here in the shop over that hit. Looks like our LEDs have took another shot tonight. Looks like they're possibly broke right here on the track, whether that's a short or what. I'm going to actually go take a look at that here in just a second.
Yellow flag. 1 minute left. Get ready. Get ready. Yellow flag.
Oh, man.
Get ready.
Yep. LEDs are done, folks. 1 second. All right. So I just checked. I tried to even shut the power off on it, but it's completely busted. What happens is guys hang their controllers here on the track, and it's not their fault. I mean, we sell the controllers this way. We had them put some tape on it, but those LEDs, they have little copper pads in them. And when they hang their controller on it, it just directly shorts out the 5 volts to ground. Ends up messing them up. But we might just have to rip the lights off the track or do something a little bit different, simply because this ain't working. But it does add a little bit of atmosphere for sure. The LED lights, especially when we run little night races and stuff like that. Maybe have to get some waterproof ones maybe and get it hung up right. Several yellow flags, making this 7th heat very, very long. 30 seconds left to go. Randy Curley now taking over the lead from Amani there. 491 total laps. Gabriel Kirtley there in 3rd place with 424. Bruce Bullington 299. Jay Latham 288. Tom Payton 270.
Get ready.
Oh, get a car coming completely off the track there. Just outside of the horseshoe portion of the track. I think the issue we're having here is we're hitting so many track call buttons, people are not getting in rhythm. They're just rushing, trying to get ahead of people, causing their cars to come off. They need to try to get back in rhythm, keep off the button a little bit to let these guys kind of get a fluid roll instead of dive bombing each other so hard. Nine seconds left to go. 85 total laps ran by Randy Kirtley, the most so far this session. Gabriel Kirtley with 84, second most. Bruce Bullington and Jay Latham 72-73. Amani Baxter 66. Tom Payton 65.
Yellow flag. Get ready.
All right, racers, do not go to the pits. Do not go to the pits. Bring your cars in to be weighed. Bring your cars in to be weighed.
Lynn?
So currently right now, Randy Kirtley out in the lead, 511 laps, followed by Amani with 497. Paul Woosley 475. Gabriel Kirtley 433. Glenn Burton 386. Bruce Bullington 306. Jay Latham 294 and 285 of Tom Payton. Be right back with you guys. We're going to do a little quick weigh-in, and I'll see you guys shortly. Watch your lights. Sorry if I just blew your eardrums out there in internet land. Oh yeah, Alicia, he does. He has the brightest yellow of them all. Of course, Bruce now on green lane, you can see. But I'll tell you what, very impressed. Every time a race has been done for this LMP, we've seen Bruce get progressively better, we've seen Lynn get progressively better, and we've seen Paul get progressively better. Out of all three of these guys, they're increasing their lap times, they're running more consistent, they're not wrecking as much, and this is definitely what needs to be done when trying to run for that front end lead. We see Jay Latham there getting a little bit of a shunt from the inside of the lane of Gabriel Kirtley on yellow, and we'll see how that works out as we progress here. We get Amani with his hands up. Somebody had a wreck. That's definitely an attention getter for sure for the track button, and that's much better than yelling track, in my opinion. Randy Kirtley now taking his lead there at 519. He's got this lane and one more, and he's done, folks. Currently turning 9 laps. We had a rider there on Jay Latham's blue lane. Gabriel Kirtley there in second position there with 442 total laps run. And Bruce Bullington there in third place on green lane. The way this is looking, this might be your top 3 as long as everybody stays on the track well. CJ Latham having an issue there getting his car to go. Glenn Burden trying his best to get the car put back on. If the guy's staying in the trigger, it'll cause them to pop out, especially if they're too hard into the trigger. That might have been something that was going on there. Looks like they got him back underway, rolling. Jay Latham currently in 4th position. Tom Payton having a little bit of a rough showing here tonight, 303 laps. Don't know where he's kind of went wrong. I was there on a hiatus there for a couple heats, talking with people and stuff like that. Sorry about that in the commentation room. But some people need help, you got to help them. And therefore, I missed a lot of the race so far. So maybe y'all can catch me up on what I missed. But as we can see, Tom having a little bit of trouble there, getting used to that Lotus there on Black Lane. As he drives it home, what a beautiful body it is. We get another yellow flag there. 3 minutes and 23 seconds left in this round robin 8 of 11. We see the car of Bruce Bullington getting put back on from Amani there. And that's another one that's progressively getting better every time he races. With Amani, he's staying on quite a bit more now as he's getting used to the track. And that's what it takes, you know, staying on, just running your laps, and you'll get some pretty good lap times. You know, not everybody's going to finish first, but at the same aspect, it can get you up on the line and get more payout. And really, that's what these guys are running for. They're running for more money. So get higher up on the board, get more money. If they don't get it this time, maybe next time they'll have a little bit more experience under their belt and get it next time. Like I said, we've been pushed back. It's already 7:47 here, Central Time here in Livermore, Kentucky. We were supposed to have started our rookie rumble race almost an hour ago, but all these track call buttons, this shouldn't be going down. I'm a little bit upset about how much track call buttons are getting called. It should be a green race. That's what gives people, you know, a chance to catch back up with some people that don't wreck, is essentially let it go green. But at the same aspect, you know, it's a great teacher. If you start wrecking a lot, hey, maybe I should just stop wrecking, stop worrying about going so fast and just keep my car on. But with the track call button getting hit instantaneously right when one person wrecks, you know, there's no chance to catch that person unless they wreck consecutive lap after lap after lap. As we see blue car Jay Latham wadding up 2 cars there on the outside lanes. One of them, the yellow car, Gabriel Kirtley, and Tom Payton there on black. As I could hear Tom's voice say something funny, like what or something, but nonetheless, Jay Latham gave him that big bullhorn, and it was quite funny to see there at the top portion of the donut track. We see Bruce Bullington there fighting tooth and nail to regain and keep that 3rd position. He's wanting to reel in Gabriel Kirtley pretty bad. He's only a couple laps difference between him and Randy Kirtley. Like I said, he is progressively getting better. And Bruce has definitely put up a fight against Randy before on the oval track. And I think he's now getting the spirit of where he wants to put up that fight here on the orange track. Him and Paul Woosley kind of sharing bloodlines here, wanting a piece of Randy Kirtley and Gabriel Kirtley too. I mean, all holds barred here, I guess you would say, or no holds barred. If I was them, like right now, you see Randy Kirtley there dive bombing them. When coming to race and race that hard, I mean, yeah, you may not make friends by wrecking people, but a slight gentle rub to let these guys know that be cautious when you think you're going to dive bomb me might be the strategy to get a little bit higher up on the board. But, you know, asking that of these fine gentlemen, they're probably just not going to do that. Instead, they're going to run their laps and just try to get a little bit quicker. But me, I've still got that moxie in me. I would, if they were dive bombing me, I'm at least going to run them hard through the donut. And if they want to stick with me, well, that's on them. Like I said, you know, we got to hold our own here in racing. And if you watch any kind of professional racing, they don't give them an inch unless they get a blue flag. So if a blue flag for those that don't know is whenever there's a car in front of you that is moving faster, or a car that's behind you is moving faster, and you keep holding them up in the corners where they can't pass you, the flag marshal will usually hit you with that blue flag and make it to where you got a certain amount of laps to let those people go by. And if you don't, then they're going to hit you with a black flag. So, you know, I've thought about it before about having blue flags and stuff, but at the same time, you know, that's what makes slot car racing kind of interesting. Sometimes you don't have the fastest car out there, but you do have one that handles really, really well. So therefore, you may not be the quickest on the straight stretch, but you can be very, very quick during the corners. And, you know, that blocking means a lot. And I think we don't see it enough here at Lanes Raceway to the point everybody's very, very kind to one another. But I do believe that that does need to be somewhat of a race strategy for some, just to increase a little bit of slowdown for some of those guys that are really running hard, you know. Because as a conglomerate, I guess you would say, of all these people together, they can slow down Randy and Gabriel, and even Paul and everybody else. If they all deem that, hey, these guys are outrunning me and there's nothing really I can do, they can put them down on lock just by simply brake checking them and stuff like that, and making it a little bit tougher on them until they have the opportunity to catch back up. Now, will this make tempers flare? Most likely, but I mean, you see this in day-to-day big car racing all the time, and it's just the nature of the song. You know, some people have $50,000, $60,000 to spend on a motor, other people don't. So there's got to be other ways to compete, and that's what happens.
You good, Gabriel? No.
Get ready.
Door lights should drop out. It seems like we had a pretty good little roll there before we had any like major wrecks there. 53 seconds left to go in this heat. Maybe giving those guys just a little extra time there in the pits helped all their cars out to stick a little bit harder, and you know, maybe keep them in the lane a little bit more, and that's what we like to see. It'll help speed this race on a little bit more. 35 seconds left to go in this round robin, 8 of 11.
Get ready.
At this point, all it's about is getting as many laps as you possibly can to get added up. To try to increase whatever lead that you are having, and hopefully those standings don't change for you if you're in a high position.
Yellow flag. Get ready.
22 seconds left to go, and we still see Randy Kirtley and Gabriel Kirtley out there in the lead. But like I said, 5 laps down below them, we got Bruce Bullington giving it everything he's got right now. And he just keeps increasing those laps every time he comes out here and staying consistently speaking, you know, 3.546, that's a major fast time. Okay, not counting today, these are our total laps. Are they in order? That's incomplete.
Clay, good job, Clay.
You don't have them in their order of what place they finished? First, second, third, fourth on any paper? That picture doesn't have times for Thursday. Paul Woosley with 3,061 laps. Bruce Bullington 2,899. Glenn Burden 2,880. Randy Kirtley 2,548. 1,254 Guillermo Sire. 642 Gabriel Kirtley. 567 Tom Payton. 539 Jay Latham. 464 Clay Dane. 457 Amani Back. 490 David Horton. And that's all. That's the current, as of June 17th, the current laps. At the end of that heat, Randy Kirtley is planning on adding at least 599 to that total. But he's, of course, going to have more because he gets at least one more heat to go. Gabriel Kirtley's going to add at least 519. 497 Omani, 475 for Paul Woosley. Bruce Bullington, 387. 386 to Glenn Burden. Jay Latham, 370. Yet again, we're starting to see this develop here with Bruce Bullington and Glenn Burden here. 387, 386. Both of them still have 3 heats left to go. It is a nail-biter of a fight here we got going on here. Tom Payton here down at the bottom today. Still got 3 heats to go with 358. Jay Latham, 370. Amani there at 497. He's got one more heat to roll. And we'll see how things change here. Right now, Amani currently has the lowest average right now with 71, but he's picked that up from his previous race and doing quite well, I'll have to believe. A minute and 41 seconds before we go back green. I'm going to leave you with the pinball scores, and I'll be right back with you. All right, folks, we're back. 4 lights red, and we're going to drop out here, and here we go. Back racing. Randy Kirtley now coming out this heat. 600 total laps. This is going to be the guy that you're going to have to beat, ladies and gentlemen. He's coming out. He's got 602 total laps here. He's going to run his heart out here on this white lane. Hopefully these next couple of heats go pretty quick, as these kids are biting at the bit to get in this Rookie Rumble race. And we got a couple of adults also entered into that Rookie Rumble, and they're ready to go. We're going to end up having it on the oval track. I think it's a special treat for the guys in the Little Rumble to have it on the orange track. But I think from here on out, just simply because of laps, I didn't think about that until after we ran the race. Simply because of laps, from here on out, we're going to have it on the oval, because you can definitely turn more laps on the oval, and that's a bad mistake on my part. But the kids run it for free, so from here on out, it's nothing but the oval track, because I don't want these guys having to come in and run another race if they don't want to, because we ran on the orange one weekend. Because orange does turn less laps. We see Carson just passing over the camera there, so I think he might be in ready for the Rookie Rumble. He's got his car in. He's bound and determined to get ready to do a little race in here. We might have us a pretty good little Rookie Rumble there on the oval coming up next. Right now, round robin 9 of 11. 4 minutes and 13 seconds left to go. And what a race this one's been. Ladies and gentlemen, this was like the first race we had of the series. A lot of wrecks going on, a lot of track calls. Like I said, we've had better races, and it seems like we have better races when we have to run live tracks. Yes, spirits get a little bit higher, but at the same time, people race within their means. Right now, we just have too many people rushing, dive down deep, and not getting back in the trigger underneath the track, and this is causing a lot of issues, these constant track calls. If I have to put my wife back in under track call duty, that's going to take place. This will be probably the last time you'll see a race like this. I'm sorry that it's been very stop and go-ish. Nobody wants to see that kind of racing. It's very boring. And these racers are just going to have to start manning up a little bit. I love these guys. They know I do. But at the same time, they run better when it's a live track. There's a lot more on the line. I like to see the passion. I don't like to see this running, dive bombing action here, wrecking under the bridge every other lap. It's not very entertaining, nor is it very fun if you're a racer having to wait on somebody that constantly wrecks. So, just as a sheer punishment, it's not that at all. It's simply, I want these guys to get better, and the only way they're going to get better is through rhythm and repetition. And they're just going to have to slow those rides down and get that rhythm first, because you got to put a little bit of fear in them, because they got no fear here when the track gets instantaneously shut off when they get dropped under the bridge. If they had to wait a good 3 or 4 seconds to get their car, this would all stop, and there wouldn't be a wreck every lap. We'd have a race like we did last Sunday, where we had very, very few wrecks, and we would already been done with this race. Here we are now, an hour over what this race should have taken to run. So the track call buttons are going to be shut off next week from the racers, and it's going to be back to a live track, and people are not going to like that, but it's just the way it is. This is a pro series. These guys really need to start acting a little bit like they're pro. I hate it, but it wouldn't be so bad if it wasn't a track call every 2 seconds. We've had several drop frames tonight, 10,955 total tonight. I think that's whenever we transition over to the pinball status. But, I mean, all night long we get people coming in, still going for the tournament, still increasing their scores. So if you guys are following the guys on pinball and the gals on pinball, you know, it's always good to see those refreshed points there live. Plus, it gives me a little bit of a break. Y'all don't have to stare at my empty booth and stuff like that. It's just something a little bit more interesting to look at. Randy Curley still on the lead, 33 total laps turned. Bruce Bullington 32, Gabriel 33. They're there within 1 lap of each other. Bruce really coming into his own here. Now 34-34 with him and Gabriel Kirtley. Bruce is letting people know that he's here to stay. He's not messing around. He's going to continue to make that car faster and handle even better, as his current fastest lap time of 3.559. Next to Gabriel's 3.388 there on orange. Just a little bit difference in push, but Bruce is doing what the guys should be doing, and that's learning that groove and pushing when he thinks he can push, but staying on the track. That's why he's in the position that he's in. He's just staying on. And I really admire the effort of him staying on the track. Very few wrecks done by Bruce Bullington tonight. Same thing goes for Glenn Burden. They're all fighting there neck and neck. Very few wrecks to take place. But there has been several wrecks take place here. A lot of people getting caught up in them. Could be a difference between a messed up car. Could be a difference between a bust up braid. Who knows what the deal is, but track marshals need to reach under there and get them cars as best they can under that bridge and not hit the track button as much. But all night it's been a lot of track call buttons. So I'm sorry about that. Yet again. Get a car off there. Randy Kirtley's car coming off there. Minutes and 24 seconds for this heat's over with. We're doing this 1 second at a time, it seems. This computer's pumping the heat. I'm sweating over here like a sauna.
Get ready.
Bonnie quick to get that car back on. See, that's the kind of stuff we love to see. Getting those cars back on without hitting that button. As you can see, it's already helped these guys get a rhythm down. We got to stall the car down the back strip. That's an opportunity to hit the track call button. But every time a car wrecks under the bridge, not necessary to hit a track call button with two track marshals. You got one that can get it on one side and one that can get it on the other. There should be no track calls being made here. It's just killing rhythm.
Get ready.
Right there, we got three cars off there on the back side of the donut.
Get ready. Yellow flags. Get ready. Yellow flag. Get ready.
You guys can see here in the background, right above to the left side of Amani's head there, That's one of our big checks. That's going to be a check going to be ripped off the wall for whoever wins the Little Rumble series. And we're going to put their name on that, of course, whenever the series is over with. And that's kind of their little trophy. We want to get a picture of them holding that thing up, all excited. That's something that's very popular amongst the dirt racers around the area, is big checks. So we're going to kind of continue that trend here. We've got a lot of dirt track racer blood here. And why not have big checks on slot car racing? What's up, Carson? Sorry, dude, it's taking so long to get through this race. I know. I think next time you're going to be out there. Because I don't want this happening again. This is ridiculous. I mean, there's got to be some, I know, there's got to be some punishment for people coming off the track. It's just the way it needs to be. They're going to have to wait till somebody gets them on and suffer the 4 or 5 second loss. And we got kids wanting to run a rookie race, and you know, tomorrow's probably a school day. I don't know. Well, I guess it's summertime. They don't have school, so I don't guess that really matters. But nonetheless, you know, shouldn't have been any reason this race shouldn't have been ran in that amount of time. But we are going on 2 hours over time. That's rough. Two seconds left to go, and this heat's finally over after about 20 minutes. Randy Curley, your leader, he's going to be coming out this heat. My computer struggles to survive. 686 total laps of an average of 85.8. Can he hang on to it? Gabriel Curley still has one more heat to make 80 laps. But most likely he's going to take Randy Curley tonight and get that. If he continues his average, he'll get him by 6 laps. Amani Baxter there with third place with 497. He's got one more heat left to go. Paul Woosley got 2 heats left to go. Bruce Bullington has 2. Glenn has 2. Jay has 2. And Tom Payton has 2. right, back to our race, 4 minutes and 54 seconds. This will be the last So I had to make the call. Hope it didn't upset people, but it is the way it is. 2 hours past time, that's unacceptable for pro class. Got too many races going on here. Now look how well everybody's doing now that it's a live track. All of a sudden now everybody don't want to dive bomb the bottom of the track, and we're only getting a wreck every once in a while. So that's how, right there is how it should have been done this whole race, what Randy Curley just done there, and I commend him for that. I'm not going to let him take a lot of grief there because he done what was right. He hit the track call whenever the track marshals could not get the cars. In that aspect, it's on the backstretch. Nobody could get it. And I commend Randy Curley for doing that. I mean, it takes a strong man to do that kind of thing. You know, granted, he's in the lead and everything. So it kind of benefits him, but at the same aspect, this is the way it should have been ran the whole race. It should have been more fluid, more of a punishment if you wreck. Now we see the guys kind of toning in those back ends a little bit. Not a whole lot of wrecks taking place here. And this is what you want to see in a pro race, this nice, good flow of everybody, you know, getting their pace down and running that nice and tight. Now there was a perfect good yellow flag there. That needs to go behind the line. So Monty's going to get him put on behind the line. Now here we are in round robin 10 of 11. We're already through a minute or so of this heat just simply because we're not hitting that track call button every single second. This is what I love to see. These guys running neck and neck like this. Nice fluid motions here, not causing a lot of issues. You know, maybe not running as fast as they possibly could. But right there, that bunch of them. I mean, we had 4 or 5 of them going wide right there. Now see, there's another perfect example of when you shoot a track call button. When you got 3 or more people hanging off and you can't get to it quick enough. But if it's one car, you know what? The guy's got to learn. Alicia says, hang in there, Donovan, 1 second at a time. I know, I feel it. Yeah, it definitely benefits him. He's got his laps in. That is true. That's why I said they should have just finished it out, this one. But I do commend him for, you know, doing what every one of the track marshals should have done this whole race long. I will say Gabriel Curley's the one that started this at the very beginning, hitting it whenever somebody comes off instantaneous. But he's also the one on the phone. Hey, you need to start running those tracks live. So, you know, I don't know why he kept hitting those buttons so quick. It's different, and here's why I say one of the things that we end up running into is that in our rookie series, we have a lot of children running in these rookie series, and they have curfews, and they need to go to bed at a certain time and stuff like that. So maybe next week what we'll do is run both of our rookie races first, and we'll change the time schedule, and we can just push this back. But not only the kids, you know, I like to get out of here at a decent hour myself, you know. These races should not take 4 hours to run.
Yellow flag.
Looked like Paul Woods' car came off there. I hit it as I seen Randy Kirtley staring at it. But it looked like he didn't come out. He just kind of stalled there for a second.
Yellow flag. Get ready.
Now I've gone from commentator to track marshal myself. I think that was just one car that came off. Randy Kirtley will get this car here. That's how it should go, just like that. Bruce Bullington off right there. Got him in good quick turn. Yeah, there is a lot more people running on Sundays. Sundays is definitely the big day for slot car racing. The reason I think it is, Alicia, is simply because there's not a lot to do on Sunday. I mean, after you get out of church, you get you something to eat. There's really just not a lot to do. So a lot of people come in here and they do a little bit of slot car racing. As had to quickly hit that pause button there because I know he didn't see Bruce's car there. But yeah, more guys are definitely running on Sunday. A lot of guys get Sunday off from work and stuff too. Thursday night, 4. Yeah, you're right. And it does make it easier for those guys that are running on Thursday night. But at the same time, they're not running against usually the faster guys. And the faster guys is what really makes those guys push. We want them to push for sure. That helps them get to be better racers and not come off as much. Because once you get that perfect rhythm down to where that you're running consecutive there, it's not as big of a mind screw, I guess, once you get quick. It just really messes with you while you're trying to learn to get quick. So we want our guys to get there, but we don't want them to get there like this. We don't want them getting there with a button press every time somebody comes off, because they'll never get there. They won't get the rhythm. And as you can tell, the rhythm's already gotten tremendously better since there's a punishment called. But they're turning right around the same amount of laps. Gabriel Kirtley there turning 80 there on White Lane with 686. Tying Randy Kirtley for the win. So definitely need to know where Gabriel Kirtley and Randy Kirtley finished. And we got a couple minutes before we get into the next heat. Right now, Gabriel Kirtley in the lead, Randy Kirtley, same amount of laps. Paul Woosley with 549, Bruce Bullington with 544, Glenn Burden 530, Tom Payton 506, Jay Latham 503, and Amani Baxter 497. As we go into round robin 10 of 11. Minute and 45 seconds. We'll be right back with you. racing. A little bit of somewhat of an argument taking place between me, Randy Kirtley, and Gabriel Kirtley. Gabriel Kirtley ended up taking the win, though, from Randy in that little bit of a spell. Monty, he's heading out. He's got a long drive. We appreciate him stopping by and running in this race. Of course, he's not going to be able to make this last heat. That's another thing. You know, when we start talking about time, we start at 5:30. We started a little bit after 5:30. I think it was like 5:35, something like that. And here it is, 8:30. You know, for a race that shouldn't have took that long. On actual reality, should have been somewhere around an hour and a half or so. But nonetheless, you know, he has to make that trip home, and we hope he gets home safe. We do love Amani, very good guy. But yeah, you know, they say two people's not enough to track marshal that track. I've track marshaled it with me and my wife just fine. Now, of course, I can't be in here commentating during all that. And that's what they said. Well, you took control of the track. Oh, I did when I seen that it was getting overwhelming for the two people. But if you can just get in there really quick and get it done, everything's on the up and up. Now that Gabriel Kirtley's there on the button, that baby's going to get pressed a lot this last heat. He's got it in hand. He's an undecided. He's not putting cars on. He's just going to hit the button when somebody wrecks. So it's back to the old way. But like I said, that's all going to change here. May not have me commentating much longer, as I'll get out there and track marshal like it's supposed to be done. I just wish we had more racers to make it work. But anyways, it's not that big of a deal. It's like I was telling him, the issue that we have is a lack of track marshals. But if guys stand about where Gabriel's standing right now, they can see everything that's going on with their peripheral vision. They just got to stare. If you're where Gabriel's at right now, you got to stare somewhere about in this area right here. And you can see from here all the way over. You can see everything. You can hear the cars hit underneath the bridge. And you just got to be quick. You got to want to get these guys on fast. If you're in the race, it's hard for racers to want to get them on fast. Now what he done right there, I love it. I love that he got two cars on in less than a second. If he would have hit the track call button during that, it would have took 4 seconds because it's not instantaneous come back on this track. We got 4 lights that drop and then it goes green. It's about 6 seconds when it's all said and done. That don't sound like a lot, but whenever you're doing that 30 or 40 times during a heat, it adds up. I guess you kind of can say it's a little bit of tough love in a sense, simply because the punishment keeps people on. We know this from the basement days. Like, we didn't have track call buttons like this in the basement days until Dad installed them about 3 or 4 years after we built the track. So, you know, and even if you did have a track call, it was because you had to walk around the track to put your own car back on. So it was just different back then because you get 1, maybe 2 races in a race weekend. Whereas this right here is a little bit more slipstream. We do have track marshals and we need to put them to use. They shouldn't just be glorified button pressers. But if anything, it's made it a very interesting race just simply because of me ranting. So a little bit different than our usual races here. 2 minutes and 44 seconds left to go, and this race will finally be over with. Paul Woosley now currently out in your lead with 583 laps with the median at 3.69, 3.561. Bruce Bullington right there behind him with 381. Only 4 laps difference separates these two. Glenn Burden with 368, about 20 or so laps down from these guys. That's exactly what Bruce Bullington's wanted to see there from Paul Woosley. More of those wrecks like that gets him a chance to catch him. Bruce Bullington right there behind him to grab another lap from him if he can do so. We see Bruce Bullington actually pushing through the car of Jay Latham there on yellow to try to catch back up and reel him in another lap from Paul Woosley on green. Right now, 2 laps separate Paul Woosley from Bruce Bullington. Here it is, the last heat. There's a little bit of a battle going on between Bruce and Paul. Can Bruce make those 2 laps up to surpass Paul Woosley for what seems to be 3rd position here tonight? He's going to have to push. And this is the first time tonight that Bruce is really going to have to hammer home. Bruce has definitely been running upwards pace laps here, keeping his car in nice and tight. But now he's got to make a push here. He's got to get that lap. There he goes. He gets one of those laps, and now he's got to rush again to get another lap as they're both fighting neck and neck, side by side. One of them's going to have to give up their resolve here. One of them on blue lane, one of them on black lane, neck and neck. As we see Bruce now getting the advantage, pushing forward there in that Shelby Cobra. He gets that lap. He's just a couple car lengths ahead, 1 minute and 36 seconds left. He needs a couple laps here. Is he going to be able to do it? He's pushing now. He's losing some of that sight line of Paul Woosley, but a car gets involved in his lane, kind of blocking him off a little bit, causing him to lose a couple car lengths, but he's got those back now as he's pushing hard there. 1 minute and 20 seconds left to go as he makes up another lap here. He's 1 lap difference here between him and Paul Woosley. What a race we got as he reels in Paul Woosley yet again. Paul Woosley there through the S-turns as we see Bruce Bullington reeling him in there on the straight stretch with a nice little coast we see here. 1 minute and 7 seconds. It is possible, folks. 1 wreck is what Bruce needs. He needs that wreck to get that half a lap, and then he can reel it in from there. Very, very close race between him and Paul Woosley right now. Paul Woosley going around the donut, caught up in some traffic as we see Bruce taking advantage of that, pushing hard, keeping it in on black, running deep as he comes around to pass up both Glenn Burden and Jay Latham. And he's going to do so probably this lap right here as he pushes hard around the black lane. 46 seconds left to go. As we see Paul Woosley getting involved in an incident and a bad circumstance there as the track call button gets hit there, causing him to tie up now with Paul Woosley. 6:12, 6:13. He needs to make 1 full lap. He needs Paul Woosley to make 1 more wreck, 1 more mistake. He's going to push hard here. Paul Woosley right behind him. Paul Woosley driving it deep as he's kind of nervous here. 35 seconds left. I'd be nervous myself. But right now, Bruce Bullington with ice in his veins. Oh, Bruce Bullington coming out there. What a race he's been showing so far as he gives back that lead that he just had there on Paul Woosley. Had him within a lap. We'll see. It ain't over yet. We'll see what happens here as we continue on racing. Paul Woosley there on the bridge underneath it, gaining almost a lap there on Bruce Bullington with 24 seconds left to go. He needs to hold his resolve for the rest of this 22nd lap to see if Paul Woosley can hold him off. 1 lap separates these two, 1 for victory, 1 for second place. So this is a race for 3rd place, 9 seconds left to go, within 1 lap of each other. And Paul Woosley just hanging it on there as he pushes himself through what seems to be the car of Tom Payton. Now giving back that small amount that he had. This is going to have to happen yet again. We're going to have to see Paul Woosley wreck that car, but it's not enough time, folks. 1 lap separating Paul Woosley from Bruce Bullington. What a race for 3rd place. Paul Woosley's going to get the advantage this week and take home that 3rd place. Gabriel Kirtley 1st, Randy Kirtley 2nd, Paul Woosley 3rd place, Bruce Bullington 4th place by a lap, Glenn Burden about 20 or so laps down with 6:09. He put up a good valiant fight too. His average numbers are increasing. 76.1 is his average. Jay Latham's 72.6, and Tom Payton 72.5. Armani leading a little bit early, 62.1. Did you get the picture of his lap? All right, folks, we're going to go out there and get a small interview, and then we got to move right into the next race. All right, well, we're moving on into the circle track race here right now. We're going to end this stream, start up the next one, and we'll roll. See, I need that green.